Greetings, my most excellent friends. It is I, Dennis Caleb McCoy, and I just need you all to know I'm very sorry. But this is Destined for Failure, a Twitch stream where I will play Destiny badly. Maybe people will join me that I know, friends. I'm not sure. It's a possibility. But we're gonna go play Destiny, so let's go do that. I am joined, as always, by my, very vocal and active co-host, Muad'Dib. He's, passed out on the job, as usual. But at least he isn't sitting just off camera, staring at me, being like, where are my treats? Like, he'll sit right down there, instead of in the clearly perfectly framed shot for the cat. Because he's a cat, so why would he do what I want him to do? If I wanted that, I would have gotten a dog. How are my levels? How do I sound? Fine. Someone will let me know. So we're going to do things different tonight. I've never done my login screen before. So here, this is my usual character, my warlock. As you can see, he's decked out in all sorts of shiny. And this is my Titan, who's one of the robot people, and I play him every once in a while. But today, we're going to play the character I never play, my Hunter. Mostly because there's only so much time. And there are reasons I'm doing this. Chiefly, there's a seasonal event that's ending this weekend. And I want to see if I can get some shiny looking armor for her. It switched to Arc Day. I didn't realize I was checking things out before the empowerment. That changes things considerably for me. Okay. So, let's see what I'm doing. I'm liking that. I really like that. We'll try this one out. What do I got here? Arc bolt grenade. Yeah, I like that. That sounds cool. We're going to do the one that reloads my weapon. Like that. Okay. So I gotta switch my weapons too. What was I gonna do? Alright, let's pull up Dim on my iPad. Dim is Destiny Inventory Manager. It is for playing Destiny. Boy, I helped a lot with that. I'll just give her some of my Warlock's gear for the time being, because I don't really care. So we'll put that on her. What do I have? What do I have quests for? So, all right, we'll give her my Icalos. And for chutes and ladders, we'll give her that bow too. All right, so now she's got the weapons she needs. No, so we're going to start with the machine gun. That's an SMG, rather. We'll do that. Okay, alright. She's cooking. So, this is the seasonal armor. I'm at the very first step for the hunter. So, I want to see if maybe I can at least get to Majestic, which is the first tier of legendary purple armor. And if I can get her a tier of that, I'll be satisfied. That's all I'm trying to do with her right now. I'm very bad at playing hunters. I really don't know how to handle them that well. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to try. So we're going to do the seasonal event because that's the first step of the quest. Right. A. You knock it off, you. Right here, the solstice begins. So I have to complete a run of the European aerial zone. That's what I'm going to go do. Hello, everyone out there. 5 viewers already. That's pretty damn cool. Thanks for joining in. It's semi-scheduled. I announced that I was doing it, and then I added it to all my schedules. So, it kinda counts. This is kinda not by surprise. I'm leaving the schedule up, and we'll see if I keep sticking to this current schedule. Well, she has no exotics on. Let's fix that. Now she has Witherhoard. Now you're cooking with fire. So hunters can like turn invisible and dodge, and their most famous build is their Void Shadow Shot build, where they basically anchor, they slow down and link all the enemies together and debuff them. So you throw them at like a mob of enemies or a boss, and then all your teammates can hit them and do a lot of extra damage. But today is Arc Day, so I am not running that. I am going to be running Archstrider, which basically lets me run around with an electric staff and kill people. Sentient beings, but I mean, they're not human, so who cares, right? There's no blood. Everybody just explodes into like energy or clouds of gas, or like explodes in robot parts. I imagine from an alien's perspective, this is like horrifically violent. But for humans, because it's not human blood, it's like fine. It's whatever. It's taking me a while to load in. Look at this. Wonderful graphics. Beautiful rendering. There we go. Now I'm really bad with hunters because they have the trickiest jump. They don't get to fly around like either of the other classes. So the goal of this is this big, huge map with a lot of verticality, and we're on a timer, and we have to find as many bosses scattered throughout the map that will apparently I'm completing a bunch of side quests while I do this. Okay, so these markers are the bosses, and for every boss we kill, we're gonna get chests that we have to run through this map and find, also on a timer, and that'll give us extra loot. it's a pretty low stakes thing, like quick respawns. We're not even in a fire team, so they would be green if we were like in an actual group together. So it's like a weird, I don't know, instanced public event. That would be the easiest way to describe it, if those terms make sense to anybody as I shoot at nothing. Alright, what's your grenade? What the fuck is it? Alright, not bad, not bad. Respect. Let's see a finisher. Very cool. Hunters bring it. So Hunter's whole thing is that they can dodge. So when I'm not jumping, I can't do it. I don't know if I can... Oh, I can do it midair. So whereas, like, the Titans can put down, like, barriers, force field walls, and my Warlock can do those little circles of healing, the wells, or healing rifts. There's one of the bosses. Now that's what I gotta kill. The hell with you. Not getting tired of that. So we're doing pretty badly. I should let you know. But that's fine. Okay. So there's a guy all the way up there. I am terrible at jumping. Like, I'm bad at platforming. It's in my Twitch bio. And hunters are the most... Oh my god. They're the hardest ones to navigate via jumping. So... This is fun. This will be fun. Is they not gonna let me up this? There's a way up this. Yeah. Shut up. Shut up, game. Oh, my teammate's gonna get there before I ever do. Although I can rely on my teammate dying. I'm gonna die now. I'm just gonna fall off the map, aren't I? Yep. Look at that. Fell right off the fucking map. That just gives me a crap ton of elemental charge, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, see, there's not even... Okay, there's a boss up there. But can I do it? That's the question. Hey, I did it! That deserves a super. That's like murder with a staff. There we go. Alright. I am kinda getting the hang of being a hunter. I really don't play this class much. I've had the same alts since Destiny 1. Like, these are all imported alts from the first game. I've played them now more in this edition than I have in any prior edition. Oh, well, this is convenient. Oh, we ran out of time. Okay. So now a boss fight happens. This is not timed. boss teleported right on top of me. Like trying to do two things at once. This dude loves to teleport around. Is immune? Is immune? Gosh, dang it. Right, this boss breaks down into little mini bosses that we then have to destroy and macate. Which is a technical term. Look at this guy. Little bitty eyeballs. That's so cute. That was bad. Do I not have any other? I gotta add more animations to her finishers. Usually you can have like a bunch of different animations that it'll cycle through. I guess I don't have that set up on this character. Hey, hey, you. Ow. I'm a hunter that's acting like a titan. I'm punching everything. Please gather and disappear. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a chest. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. That's right. Oh yeah, so now we're on a timer. Oh my god, Hunter, stop it. My life. I'm dying. There we go. Only 5 chests. So yeah, that was a very meh run. It's a good start. Rookies, they didn't even go for this one. That's one of the first chests that spawns. Where's the one I'm missing? Too far. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I go back to the tower, and I'm gonna talk to this this lady here, who they repurposed. So she was an NPC from the first Destiny, and she was where you bought shaders, which were the things that color your armor, which worked entirely differently in Destiny 1. It was kind of a controversial change, but they made shaders used to just be like an inventory slot, like here, and you just pick your shader, but now it's like you have to buy them. So like that was kind of a controversial move, but it does let you mix and match shaders, which you couldn't do before. That's sad. So she's not even at the soft cap of 1050 yet. So right now I have to hold on to every little weird armor drop that happens. Not really for the weapons, because you can trade weapons between characters, but the classes have different armor. So I just gave her a bunch of my Warlock's weapons. So now, instead of selling shaders, she's in charge of like the seasonal events. So anytime a seasonal event happens, Ava Levante shows up in the tower and makes some joke. Oh, you're looking for shaders? Not here. Ha ha ha. And like half the Destiny fans want to punch the screen. Great. Cool. So I meditate in front of the statue. I get that cool light thing. And now I have to go play with crappy armor and do specific things associated with this crappy armor. So like this one, I did most of it. Now I just got to get precision final blows or headshots. But not every enemy is their precision areas their head. So that's why they don't just call it headshots. But that's what they mean. Goodbye, my sweet exotic for now. Let's do this. Now the good news is that for every character you complete the armor on, it like speeds it up. So I did the blue armor for both my other characters. So she should be this should not take forever. Combatants defeated in the EAZ. EAZ on Solar subclass. Solstice packages. Strikes. Art cores. Okay. We'll finish. We'll do a little more EAZ. How about that? So if that's the case, I can wear my cool gloves as long as I open. Alright. So I need to earn 5 more of these ridiculous little packages, which award baloney that I need, unfortunately, to get closer to cap. So I'll just let it sit there. Oh, see, look, yeah. See, I only opened 5 gifts, and it counted, so that's done. So until I go do Crucible, Gambit, or Strikes, I don't need to wear these gloves. So wear that. This I need to wear. This I need to wear because it super kills. This I don't need to wear because it's no. Yep. You heard it here first. Ava Levante recommends therapy. See, like, I don't need you. I got good weapons. So, EAZ on solar subclass. Cool. I won't get any cool arc empowerment stuff, but now I'm running solar, which is a different build. What did I choose? So golden gun is the normal one, which lets you fire like a super good round, but because that's aim dependent, I'm terrible, so I'm not playing that. So I'm going to use their other one, Blade Barrage, which lets me just throw a bunch of knives and kill stuff. So we're gonna go do that thing again, but now we're gonna do it a different way. Cause I said so. But you know what? Before I go, might as well get all the bounties.
I am at your service.
That's right, you are.
Requisition approved. As you will. You're alive, Guardian. Fight like it. Careful with that.
Wait, why am I doing this the hard way, people? I'm lazy. Let's fast travel, right? Yeah. Hey, mouse. I'm not even looking.
Let's do it. What's up, hero?
Shut up. Nobody likes you. Creepy weirdo.
Don't break that, alright? Done.
Now I gotta go talk to this lady again.
How did it feel to celebrate your triumphs? I hope that you can bask in every one of those moments. Each victory represents a
Speed it up, lady.
heroism kept us safe. Without you, there wouldn't be a last city to come back to. For that, we are eternally grateful. So please, friend, continue to embrace glory
Yeah.
as much as you like.
Uh-huh.
It's our gift to you.
That's great.
Just right.
Oh no. Alright.
We feel so much safer.
Well, I'm playing with solar anyways, so it doesn't really matter right now. Okay. Right? Yeah. Good. We're good. What am I doing? I'm just hitting buttons, people. Okay. I got a lot of stuff. So yeah, I just gotta fill up the bars on all these armor pieces. It shouldn't take very long. Probably the length of this stream. Maybe faster, I don't know, because again, it has a multiplier on it. So this could all go pretty fast. Hey. Oh, well that sucked. I had numlock off. And as a lefty, numpad is an essential part of gaming. I have to be careful with this gun I'm using. It's fun, but the whole thing about it is like it's a Tommy gun that burns you as you use it, but it deals more damage the more you're burning. So see, I'm taking all that fucking damage. But it looks so cool, and it's a Tommy gun. It just makes you want to use it. Oh, yeah. Where do I go? Where do I go? I want to get up to the boss. That was not up to the boss. That was the opposite. Now I'm going down. What am I even doing? Oh god. Oh god. I get knives now. That's cool. When you play solar, you get knives. We're doing pretty terribly, again. You would think, they repeat this map every year, you'd think I would have learned how to move around. But this is all about upward mobility, and I am the worst at upward mobility on hunters. So we're gonna just flounder uncontrolled. We'll go for this one in the back. That's what we'll do. So we're not floundering uncontrollably for all time. Did that not get me over? That didn't get me over? I don't know how anything works. There we go. That'll get me where I need to go. That'll get me where I need to go. And I died. Because I'm not Warlock. Warlocks could have just... But no. You have mentioned firearms several times. I do not. I live in New York City, so like gun ownership legally is not really an easy thing to accomplish if one were so inclined. Despite my love for video games, I don't really I've never fired a real gun. But I have nothing against gun ownership. It'd be kind of hypocritically un-American of me to, as I'm firing these fake guns, to be like, guns are dumb. I mean, bad things can happen. And I am pro gun control, but okay, boss time. That was the first serious diversion. Normally I talk about esoteric or like serious things way faster, but I spent a good 40 minutes talking about Destiny. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's the big difference. Oh no. Right, I can dodge. I'm a hunter. I can dodge. Mr. Friend is net running again. I like that I'm referred to as Mr. Friend. I'm enjoying playing that character. He's fun. He turned out to be more of a dick than I initially planned, but you know, I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it. You can't fight the role play. The character lets you know who the character is. You can write something down, but once you start playing the character, you just start reacting differently. And Mr. Friend really just did not have time for everybody's bullshit. Although Greg and I have gotten the word that I have been over net running, and that he has been encouraged by our Talsorian Games themselves to murder the ever-loving crap out of Mr. Friend should he continue to net run in such a blatant and overt fashion as I did last session. So I don't know how many more booster gangs I'm going to be adopting, but Mr. Friend's going to be more careful going forward about his net running, because it's like I'm purely a criminal. Like, the exec can at least pretend that he's not a criminal, but I'm a criminal. Well, I mean, like, Greg assumes that we're going to play heroes, and in our last D&D game, I mean, for the most part, there were some pretty good people. Ant is reliably playing good characters, well-aligned characters. My witch from the D&D game, Aelith, she's more, I wouldn't call her evil, but she's neutral aligned, if we're getting D&D technical here. But she's kind of she's not really bad. She's just weird. Mr. Friend is rough. He's from a rougher part. Like, the background I rolled for him, just nature and nurture, is not saying that this dude's gonna be a nice guy. His family is all in jail. They were all arrested when he was a kid because they were all mobsters. And they're all rotting in a jail in the Philippines. And to escape his life, he became a netrunner and moved to Night City to get the hell away from where he was. See, I don't know. Greg was like all surprised that I said I wanted to live in the tough part of town. But for me, I was like, where else would he go? He would never assume for a moment to live with normies. He's a net runner, like he's a criminal. People pay him to steal data and to cause havoc. Alright, that was that. That was all she wrote. Yeah, he's fun. Yeah, that's his world. He's on the rough side of stuff. How did I do? Do I need to play this again? Hold on. Get me out of this. I was in matchmaking still. That's cool. Still need to wear the helmet. EAZ is done. I didn't really use my super that much, so that's fine. But I think we can switch game modes now. We don't got to do that anymore. Crucible, Gambit, Fire Orbs. I'm already fired up. Opposing Guardians defeated. That will count for Crucible and Gambit. Strikes, Adventures, Crucible, Gambit matches. Alright. Well, let's see. What do I have the most quests for? Crucible. I have 2 weekly quests for Crucible, and I have 3 weekly quests for Gambit. 4. Alright, yeah, it's Crucible time. Time to get my ass absolutely just fucking handed to me. I should not be using Tommy's matchbook for PvP though. I'm going to... Where's my beloved Jotun? Jotun. Yeah. Gosh, I need a primary. Let's see here. What do I have? What do I have weapon quests for? SMG, shoddy, linear fusion. None of that matters. Screw it. I'll give you my breach light. Alright. There we go. Alright, she's ready for PvP. Kinda. Goodbye. Mainly, did you play Destiny 1 or did you play Destiny 2? Like, how long is a long time? What's the last bit of Destiny you played? Yeah, so couple of streams ago, my buddy Soulkit, Jason, was in the chat, and he's recently returned to Destiny, and last time he played was Destiny 1, and he was like, this is a whole so different. It is both very much like Destiny, but they changed a lot of the way the systems work and streamlined a lot of things. Like, all the bajillion different currencies actually do stuff in this. Although a lot of them are about to get removed. Which is fine. It's fine. It's all fine. I don't care about the content getting removed. A lot of people are pissy about it. There I am in white. Oh, it's mirrored. That's... I can't remember my camera movements. Alright. Dag nabbit. Alright, respect, geeky trans girl. You fucking wrecked me.
Enemy claimed Zone B.
This one is honestly the least, maniacally capitalistic. They kind of really only ask for a once-a-year investment. Like, they put out an expansion, which is cheaper than a full game, but if you want the special edition with, like, extra stuff, it costs as much as buying a regular game. And then it gives you a season pass for not just the immediate expansion, but all, like, the yearly content that they drizzle out to, like, keep people playing. The only thing that you have to pay extra for in Destiny is cosmetics.
Zone C captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on.
Which is acceptable, you know? I mean, to be clear, there are a lot of very cool cosmetics, and you look at the store and you're like, I wish I could... But,
Zone B.
I also know a lot of... There's no pay to win in this. I hate pay to win. I wouldn't play this if there was pay to win. So Bungie's in a really precarious place, actually, and this year was a very important year for them not to fuck up. This was their first year as an independent studio. I mean, if you want to, it's hard to call them indie when they're the people that made Halo and they're running this game, which everyone seems to think Destiny's dead. They're like, who plays Destiny? But it is statistically the second highest rated FPS behind Call of Duty. It's a very popular game. Like, Destiny has a very big player base. We're just insular, and we're not as, like, there's no Mountain Dew Code Red with a Destiny shit on the can. We're just not that game. Bungie, when they were owned by Activision and initially running this game, they had very bad communication with the player base, and there was a number of controversies, especially in Destiny 2, that involved like gimping people's XP behind the hood, and it took players figuring out that they were like earning less XP over time to like increase the grind, and Bungie was silent about it. But I will say that is all in the past. The Bungie now, especially now that they're indie, are super communicative, especially on social media, and they really care that we like this game. Yeah, I know it's not a pretty look for Bungie. So they are constantly playing Destiny. Always feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They are, and it's that earnestness that keeps us coming back, and they are, in all honesty, trying to develop trust. They've been more transparent than ever since they've been indie, which is cool. But yeah, there's no pay to win in here, which I like. I can't deal with the pay to hurry up. That defeats, like, why play the game?
5 minutes remaining. A strong start. Fight on. Zone C lost.
Like, they've been very straightforward about the new sunsetting weapons and the Destiny Vault, like removing content, like the reasons behind it. They're like, look, we know what we promised. We know we said ever-growing world. We kind of have to adjust what that definition means, because it turns out like the tech just can't handle getting bigger. The game as it is right now is 115 gigs. It's a big game. And there's a lot of content in it that's good, but most of the hardcore player base isn't playing it anymore because we've already played it. We're moving on to the other stuff, the newer stuff, and that's always what we're interested in. And there's also Destiny and balance are not synonymous. Destiny is a crazy imbalanced game. I mean, you're in the middle of starting a business, which I would imagine is a lot of time. I'm a freelance writer who lives in a one-bedroom apartment and is quarantined in New York City. So, and I don't have kids. Like, the closest thing I got to a kid is that lump of fur right there. And, I mean, he poops in a box and just yells at me for food once a day. So, like, yeah, it's huge. 115 gigs is huge, and it's so big that the game is breaking. Like, Destiny can get buggy frequently, and they're like, that's because there's so much stuff in it. There's so much stuff. So Destiny will actually be smaller after the next expansion, but it's for the best. And they're not getting rid. Right. So like John from our Cyberpunk game, he played the rabbit. He had the cool yellow hoodie. He's a dad too, and he loves shit like Destiny, and he wanted to get into it. But he didn't have the time. He's like, how am I gonna play this? He can't. Greg's a dad too. I mean, literally everybody but the Aries on that stream are parents. So yeah, and they also decided to like slowly rotate out the gear, and the reason that they're doing that, and they're doing that by putting power caps that are time based. So when it moves to like another season, a bunch of gear's gonna be like, you can't raise it any higher. Now that is actually something they did in Destiny 1, which people seem to forget. When Destiny 1 would release new expansion packs like the Taken King or Rise of Iron, old gear hit a like a power limit, and you would have to earn the new gear to get the new stuff. That's all they're doing, and it's I forget where I was going with it. Whatever. It is. It's so it's seasonal. Think of it like Magic the Gathering. So like each of these little symbols are what expansion pack they're from, and most of them are going to get rotated out next season, with the exception of exotics. These gold weapons, the super cool weapons, they never get retired because there would be, oh my god, there would be anarchy. It would be terrible. 1050, soft power cap at last. I care not for you. Alright, we're starting to earn gear at the soft power cap. That is good. I can explain what the soft and hard power cap means for the curious. But yeah, so this weapon, the current seasonal power cap is the bottom number, 1060. So that's the hard power cap. That's the most highest a weapon can be this season until November 10th. Then the top is its current power, 1057. Ooh, 3 points away. Very cool. And then the power limit is 1260, which is another season. I don't know which season, but it's another season. This is an exotic. It doesn't have any of that. It just has current power and seasonal power. But you go to Dustrock Blues, for example, it's 1057, but its power limit is 1060, which is the seasonal power cap. So that means next season, this gun can't be raised any higher than 1060, and will therefore be taken out of rotation. And that's how they're going about it. That is how they are doing it. The sidearm breachlight is very cool. And this is my fireball cannon, which is a giant golden toaster. It's only golden because I have an ornament. Normally, it doesn't have that. Oh, it won't show it because we're loading. I heard the loading music. It's normally a big black rectangle, but I have an ornament on it that makes it a gold rectangle.
The zones are yours if you fight for them, Guardian.
And it shoots very hot toast at people. And it is literally my favorite gun in the game. Because I'm a zombie space wizard with a fireball cannon. And every part of that sentence is cool. Except getting shot in the face super hard by a sniper rifle. That's less cool. Yo, fireball cannon. Deal with it, son.
Enemy claimed Zone B. You captured Zone A.
That sounds like a beautiful... Yeah. No, I follow that part. That sounds really cool. I appreciate the fact that you seem to be a sensible gun owner. I mean, that's a good style. Red Dead Redemption is cool. I wish I liked Red Dead Redemption 2. Can I tell you? I'll confession time. I bought Red Dead Redemption 2 and got so damn bored. That game had me chopping wood and growing a beard. One of those things I do already. But I loved Red Dead 1. I really did. I played the ever-loving crap out of it on the PS3. But, hot take, Red Dead 2 was not great. I feel like Rockstar can build a beautiful sandbox, but there was no leveling mechanic. There was no power grow. Like, nothing really changed that much in beyond beard length. It had some pretty impressive beard physics. I would almost on par with The Witcher, but not quite. I mean, yeah, I hear ya. It was just so slow. I thought the main character Arthur was interesting, but again, knowing way too drawn out, like a little egotistical. Sometimes I feel like these game developers, there's a pressure to put out a bigger and bigger game, but there's less and less respect for our time. Because gaming base, yeah, sure, Fortnite is played by a bajillion 13-year-olds, but there's now a really large group of adult gamers, like millennials and Gen Xers. We grew up with video games, and we didn't stop playing them when we got older. And so games got to be tailored to adults too. I mean, like, for real.
Zone C. Zone advancement.
I already did that when I was a kid. It was Pokemon Snap, and I was really let down by the experience.
Gains the lead. Zone A captured. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold.
So I got 8 viewers now. That's pretty cool for an unplanned stream. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I'm on the cusp of greatness, Twitch-wise. This morning, or last night, I hit 47... not 47, 43 subscribers, and I only need 7 more... not subscribers, followers. And then I can have subscribers, because then I will be... I'll be eligible to be a Twitch affiliate. So we're getting really close to that. And I made some promises early on about making things like emotes and stuff available. And as soon as that is a reality, I will get cracking on that. So this is cool. I plug myself every stream. The problem is, so in D&D, Greg had lower thirds. And you would have, like, my info, and you could go follow me and all that shit. But he hasn't been able to set that up because he has a family and his YouTube channel and an entire life, and then he also has to, like... Foundry, the program we used to play, is great, but it was only officially supported with D&D, so to play Cyberpunk on it, he's using a fan-built coding system, and so he has to do a lot of work on his end to get our virtual tabletop to play Cyberpunk. Which it's doing a great job, but I mean, it's a lot of work for Greg. But yeah, he's all for... Greg and I have been trying to work out a time where he can raid my my stream, but the problem is we play D&D until 1 a.m. Eastern, and we get to the end of the stream, and like, as soon as he goes, alright, we're not live anymore, all of us are like, alright, good night, goodbye, it's bedtime. I'm usually up for like an hour longer, but I don't know if I'm like social. I'm usually like eating. Mr. Friend will get me there. Mr. Friend is fun. I'm glad everyone likes my characters. Obviously, you hope that when you're creating a character for an actual play show that the fans will react well to them. I've been very lucky so far. Aelith was, she proved to be pretty popular. People had fun with her because she was a scary barbarian witch lady. I don't know if you were watching the show then, mainly Vibes. But she was fun. And Mr. Friend's he's a different beast. He's a different character. But the viewers demanded some sort of connection to Aelith. They were like, make her a distant descendant. I'm like, but Cyberpunk set on Earth. Cyberpunk's on Earth, and this isn't Earth. Talking about Cyberpunk. Who wants to talk about Cyberpunk? Hey, Redbeard, what's up? Let's talk Cyberpunk. What do you want to know? 1086. Ooh, that person plays a lot of Destiny. That was a phlegmy cough. I'm healthy. No coronavirus. Don't worry about me. Oh, more of a statement. Sure, that's fine. No pressure. Choice of 20 different strains. Manly Vibes. You're killing me with that. I love it. Mr. Gunn, so when we were playing session 0, Greg wanted to do it the long and complicated way, which is great if everybody knows the system. So what I did is I had everybody, I convinced Greg for us to use basically like the starter builds that are recommended in the book. So he has a very heavy pistol, which, oh, do I need to play anymore? Let me pull out of... Sorry, I need to check this. Let's link to where that. Opposing Guardians defeated. I did enough. I feel like the super one... I haven't been using my supers, and I'm not going to get... Well, we'll see. We'll leave it on for now. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Now I don't need to wear this anymore. Because that's just strikes and adventures. Yeah, okay. We keep it going. I imagine Mr. Friend's pistol looks a lot like RoboCop's gun. Just this unnecessarily huge, modified, Desert Eagle-y looking big motherfucker. I got you, Manly Vibes. I hear ya. For clarity, he was not saying anything racially insensitive. That was a typo. I will vouch for Manly Vibes. You're okay. It's all right. No worries. I got you. Everybody read the chat rules when they came in here. This is a safe space. I don't care what that makes me sound like. What a softie. I don't give... Everybody's welcome here. I ain't gonna put up with people being jerks. But Mainly Vibes was not being a jerk. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry. You're good. We're all good. We nipped that one in the bud. I too type with a keyboard while smoking marijuana, and it also makes me do typos. I also type really fast, and that also makes me do typos. I'll give you a secret. Writers make all sorts of spelling errors all the time. We do. Big secret. We just use like the grammar correcting software. I have Grammarly like installed on everything. It's integrated into my Google Docs, my Microsoft Word, WordPress. I just let an algorithm tell me that my spelling and grammar is good. I really hope Pat doesn't watch that, because he pays me to be the editor of his card game company, and I just told him that I'd do his whole job on auto mode. I'm kind of like, I'm not giving myself enough credit, and I'm definitely making fun of myself. I'm not bad with my grammar and spelling, but I definitely type fast and make mistakes. My handwriting's terrible. That's a fact. I'm a lefty, and little known fact about lefties, it's almost impossible for us to have good handwriting. My stuff looks like a cardiogram. Like, it's not good. I would pity anybody who had to forge my signature. You have to break your wrist and give yourself carpal tunnel to try and imitate the way I write. You know, like Da Vinci wrote in code. Like, I don't think I gotta write in code. Like, if I wanted to keep a secret journal, I just have to write, like, with my hand. Nobody will know.
Your enemy has a power play. Zone C captured.
Hey. Alright, good. For a second, I thought that dude was, like, not standing in the circle. And we must all have the circle.
That's a power play. You took them. Now hold. Zone C lost.
It's all good. Phone calls. That's like audio comments with like people. That's weird. I have to make a phone call tomorrow. Tomorrow's my mother's birthday. And I will be a very bad son if I don't call her tomorrow. I'm already like a hermetic guy. Like before COVID broke out, I transitioned from I don't know, about a decade working as a professional video editor, and I got really tired of it. And I always intended and wanted to be a writer, so I decided, like, even though that the pay is garbage, to start out, I went to it, and the job I got, my main one, I'm freelance. My main client is CBR, Comic Book Resources, but I have like an ongoing freelance feature position with them, where I write like opinion articles and stuff. And I have not spoken to or seen a real human face in regards to that job. Like with voices, the entire gig I got via email, Google Docs, and Slack, and the whole job is run. It's beautiful for someone who doesn't really care to talk to strangers, which is weird that I'm doing this now. I don't know why. I'm enjoying Twitch streaming. I'm enjoying talking to you all, and it feels like, I don't know, I'd be doing this with my Saturday anyways, and now I'm at least there's like 9 people that I'm engaging with as opposed to no people. That's healthier. Otherwise I'd just be talking to the cat, and he's passed out. Is he still behind me? Yeah, he's fucking sleeping on the job. I'm just an antisocial person. I'm a curmudgeon. So I'm a bad way to scale like what is healthy social interaction. Also for context, like I was an only child growing up, so I've always kind of been cool with being by myself. Like that's never really been a big deal for me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, Redbeard. And also for watching our other stuff, Greg's stream. I have been... It was quite the surprise to be asked to do the stream by Greg, and we're almost coming up on a year of doing it now. We're a few months shy of that. Our first stream was in November of 2019, and it's been a really fun ride. I won't lie, getting involved in Twitch, it's like a whole nother microcosm of the internet that I didn't understand. It's like discovering how Reddit works. Almost. I mean, we're on September now. I would say we started around Thanksgiving time last year. I remember because it was frickin' freezing and we played in Greg's garage. That's the vaunted lost first stream before John joined us. John K Rabbit, Calric Dippins. He was not with us for the very, very first session. But for me, he's kind of integral now. I can't imagine the group without him. He adds a lot. But yeah. Well, the secret is that Greg just grabbed all his real life friends. Like, he didn't put out a casting call or anything. We're all just Greg's buddies. Most of them, like, I would say Liz, Aunt, and John have known Greg since he was a kid. I mean, I met Greg. He was a couple of years. He's a couple of years older than me. So he was in his early 20s. But I met Greg in college. And Ari, he met the other Ari. The not me Ari. Okay. We are done with Crucible. Return to orbit. Don't look at my KTD. It was bad, people. Yeah, we have fun. You know, we're all adults with lives, so we're all busy doing stuff, but we enjoy the game. We talk to each other. We have like pre-game and post-game, like, all right, are we oriented where we want to be? But we oh God. So is it pronounced Aaron? Am I pronouncing it right? That's rough. It's pronounced Aaron, but it's just a crazy spelling. Oh no, that's the worst. I'm sorry, my friend. I feel you, buddy. Gotcha. Okay, so it's like a old Gaelic spelling. I had an ex who was Irish. She was so Irish, her name was Erin. You don't get much more Irish than your name being Ireland. That's my uncle's name. So fun fact. On my father's side, I'm a first generation American. My dad's an immigrant. And so is my uncle. And they were born in the Soviet Union, what's now Ukraine. But, you know, it was Stalin land. And he's my Uncle Alex. But he's a KS guy. He still does the Cyrillic, the kind of Russian spelling. Yeah, I feel like it's super hyper ultra American to come from immigrants. So I'm very proud of my immigrant roots. I got no shame there. My mom's side, I'm like third generation American. My mom's side, they were clever. So this wants me to be solar again, or still be solar, but I can use Tommy's matchbook and switch to dust for that. See, that's not... being unique is not a good excuse to give your kid a weird name. Like, I'm Jewish, so I have a Hebrew name. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, ethnically Jewish, to clarify. I left the faith a long time ago. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this crap. What do I gotta do? Dimitri's a great name. but this one's arc. Bleh. Well, I can create arc orbs. Yeah, I can make this work for me. I just won't get any empowerment. I have to play with the solar. I'm working Destiny math out in my head. If you're all curious, I can spell it out, but it gets a little crunchy. Yeah, so alright, do it up. I need to get arc-based orbs in strikes, and I need 100 of those. But to get my pinnacle reward, which is the only way to get past soft cap, it's the only way to get hard cap rewards, I have to play the strikes with a solar subclass. No, now I'm doing co-op. I switched from PvP to co-op. So this is, they're called strikes, and there's a bunch of them. And we're on a playlist that has like a weekly rotation that has modifiers and so forth. And these are 3-player co-op missions. And this is going to be one of the missions that goes away November 10th. This is set on Mercury, which is one of the planets that we're losing. Blah! Obliterated. Hey, Sin. First Nation. That's crazy. There's a lot in American history that, like, we gotta square up with the American dream. And a lot of that involves the indigenous people of America. I am, and this is very selfish of me, but I am very relieved that no one in my family was around for any of that stuff. Now, have I benefited from those systems? Abso-frickin-lutely. And it's horrifying. But I can't do anything about it. I can't. I want to.
In the forest, time itself is in flux.
I don't like it. I can feel your approach, but
I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm 100% Ashkenazi Jew, European Jew. Poland, Romania, and then pre-diaspora, the Middle East and the desert, and building all the pyramids and all that crap in the Old Testament. I'm like 100%. You can trace me right back to Abraham's balls. Like, I'm a pure-blooded 100% Jew who's also an atheist. Which is really confusing when your ethnicity is also a religion. Not for me, but it's confusing for, like, my family and stuff. Oh, wow. Your dad's family's IRA. Legit. I'm taking my sweet time just messing around, for the record. Oh, I'm gonna die. I mean, recessive genes, man. My dad has black hair and my mom's a redhead. And my dad is my height, but like a barrel-chested Russian dude, and my mom is skinny. So I'm long like my mom, I'm pale like my mom, I'm skinny, but I'm not. Otherwise, I'm kind of like my dad, and I don't know how I got brown hair, but I have brown hair. My family hides nothing. I grew up on my grandfather's like horrific old country stories. I don't need to go. So like my dad's, I'll say a little. My dad's parents were both Holocaust survivors, and so my grandmother, they had different philosophies towards it. Oh, I went the wrong direction. They'll pull me ahead eventually. It doesn't matter. That's how much I'm paying attention. Yeah, so my grandma didn't really talk about it a lot, but my granddad did. He used to sit me on his lap and tell me all sorts of horrifying stories. They really are not. It's not worth repeating. Jeez. I love the way you spell old country. Yeah. Like, I definitely, like, if you sit me next to my father, you can be like, alright, he's in there somewhere. But I definitely don't, you know, some kids clearly look like one parent or the other. I don't. I'm definitely some weird mishmash of my parents. The other players are probably like, where the F is this guy? I sound like myself. I don't sound like any of my relatives. My dad has a really deep voice.
I've used the forest to create a simulation of your sparrow. You're going to need it for that record.
A ghost can do that.
The Saxon invasion of Ireland. Damn. That's some history there, too. Everybody has cool backgrounds. Unfortunately. But, it's kind of still the case, and it's awful. There's a lot of people who are like, when did the world get so terrible? I'm like, the world didn't get terrible. We have the internet now. We just see how terrible we all are. How we've always been. I'm from Jersey. I don't know how Jersey I sound. I've lived in New Jersey for 18 years, and I've been in New York for about 16 now. Oh, my mom is like Miss Frizzle, but Jewish, and she sounds like every New York Jewish lady. That's good to hear. I'm glad I have generic American accent. I am Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle, by the way, is what my old country grandpa used to call me as a kid, affectionately. He was really happy that I was this jaded American who was, like, spoiled. He loved it. He loved every second of it because he had to live a horror show. Why did I jump off my bike? I don't care.
Wait for it.
Guys, wait up! Come on, guys! And they're pulling me there. Yeah, my grandpa was very funny. He was a funny guy. He'd always be like, listen, you are Yankee Doodle. I will tell you. I know. Listen. I'd be like, okay, Grandpa.
artistry.
I'm sorry. I got locked. I got locked away.
It's really not.
It's hard not to admire the artistry.
It's really not.
My grandparents were not quiet people. My grandpa would brood, and then he would very loudly talk about the Germans.
The ballast is down. I can't shake the sense of deja vu. I feel like we've done this before.
You were here in spirit. I was using your show.
Yeah, I remember.
Dance Town. What? Get it on. Alright, still working on that. Kinda. So, my grandpa... Alright, if we're gonna get into this, we'll get into this. My grandpa was born in Poland. And he was 14, I think, in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. And they mentioned... It was like news... that it was happening, and my family didn't believe that it was that big of a threat. My great-grandfather apparently was like, nah, we're gonna stay with our synagogue, our community. Our rabbi says, okay, God will protect us. And so my grandpa was like, you're insane, Dad. And he ran away before the Germans invaded Poland. And without speaking Russian, he made his way from Poland into Russia. Neither of my grandparents were ever captured or went to concentration camps. My family, they're tough, squirrely, neurotic people. They got good survival instincts, so I don't know. He definitely didn't. They didn't get caught. He ran, and he eventually made his way into German territory, and I mean not German territory, Russian territory, and he was like a, I don't know, X generation tailor. That was what my family was before coming to America. We were just tailors. So that was a very handy skill to have. And he wound up befriending a Russian officer who hired him to tailor his suits and stuff. And my grandpa learned a bit of Russian. And this officer made sure that, like, while my grandpa never joined the Russian army, he was like a worker for them. And yeah, he did all sorts of stuff. He worked in the mines in the Urals. He survived multiple cave-ins there. He repaired the Russian military train supply lines. And he got attacked by the Luftwaffe. He survived, like, air strafes. Like, he's told me all sorts of crazy shit. He was present for the Battle of Stalingrad. He was there to collect food to feed the Russian army. And the way he did that was by going into no man's land and digging through the ground for potato roots. But he could only move at night. Because if he moved at all during the day, the snipers would shoot him. So he would, I believe for the entire length of the battle, he would sit in place, like lie down all day on the field, not move. And then at night, he would dig up the roots and bring them back to the Russian army and eat himself and then head back out.
The Cabal are here.
Yeah, and thankfully he wasn't the only one. We found out the reason my family came to America was because social services came into effect about a decade after the Holocaust, where they started reconnecting people, and my grandpa found out that his little brother also ran away like 2 days after my grandpa did. My great uncle William was like, Joe had the right idea. We should probably get the F out of here. And he was even younger. He was like 12, and he ran away, and he lived. And yeah, my family's full of badasses. And my grandma, I would have more stories about her, but she was of a different mind. She didn't want me to be burdened with any of that. My grandpa was, and I think he was honestly, unfortunately, correct in the long run, but he was like, this type of hate can come back. You got to be ready for it. Haha, welcome to 2020. So my grandpa, as I got older, he censored himself less and less, and he told me all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm definitely giving you the cliff notes. But yeah, I don't know. I come from a family of some pretty, I don't know, I'm pretty skinny, but I like to think I'm scrappy. I come from a family of tough survivors. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole motto for the Holocaust is never forget, so. And it's meant not just for us, as in the Jews, which that applies to everybody. It should never happen to anyone, ever, for any reason whatsoever. If that isn't absolutely clear to a person, then I am scared to be around that person.
I'm making the elimination of carbon your priority on this operation. His crew has been active all over the system. From our intel, he's mostly targeting PEX installations. However, removing him can only strengthen our position. Put him down.
I gotta put him down. Yeah, Grandpa Joe was a badass. He lived a long time, too. He only passed last year.
I have good news.
Oh, yeah, people forget Manly Vibes. It's really funny, but I describe being a Jew as being off-white. Like, I'm white until the white people in the room decide I'm not. And that is true of multiple ethnicities that are now taken for granted as white. Like the Irish. The Irish were treated as badly as anybody else, and same with the Italians. Really, it's fear of the other. It's a human thing. It's a deep-rooted psychological fear. And unfortunately, a lot of the hatred that is rampant in our country is mostly due to lack of exposure. Once you meet and know someone and they stop becoming alien or foreign, once you can break bread with another person, it becomes a lot easier to empathize with them. And hating someone starts seeming really, really stupid. That's Ari's utopian Star Trek speech for the day. Enjoy.
Dangerously skilled at manipulating this Vex architecture. Maybe if we catch him, he can give Kate a lesson or two.
Yeah, people forget this, Mainly Vibes, but when Kennedy was elected in 1963, it was as big a deal as Obama because he was America's first Catholic president. Every president beforehand was Protestant. It was a huge fucking deal. They're like, oh God, we got an Irishman in the office now? Like, that was a real thing. Everybody remembers that. Our country is constantly working on correcting itself, where the American dream isn't something you achieve, it's something we are constantly aspiring to. I think there's a lot of people who confuse critiquing your country with being anti-patriotic, when in my mind it's the most patriotic thing The thing that makes us American is that we can do that without being shot in the street. That we can hold ourselves accountable for our past actions and try to change things. I don't know. To me, that's what being an American is. But what do I know? I'm in one of those horrible liberal Babylons, New York City, that is, Trump's gonna remove funding from. Anyways, I'm getting political again. That was fun. You are quite correct, Mainly Vibes. The colonies were all independent. We almost weren't a country. It took the impassioned actions of a few enlightened but imperfect people to figure it out. Our founding fathers are definitely flawed, but they did have something good in mind. They were trying to do something special. Yes, I firmly believe in the agree to disagree. Like, that's why we have votes, right? That's... For the time they were progressive. Today they would be considered non-progressive. However, they would also be very scared with how religious our country has become. If you read a lot of the old documents, like, separation of church and state was there for a reason. They were all religious people, but they believed in... Exactly, I am Cud. Alright, I like who's watching my stream. I like you folks. Y'all got your heads screwed on right. Exactly. I recently watched, HBO Max, I went and watched the John Adams miniseries. And if John Adams was here today watching the partisan politics, he would be mortified. He's rolling in his grave right now. John Adams hated parties. He was angry. They declared him that he was a Federalist, which is like a proto-Democrat. Yes, exactly. Exactly, mainly. So, I don't know. We're definitely not a perfect country. We definitely have a lot that we have to work on. We definitely did a lot of damage in the last 4 years. I still believe that we can be what we were told in school that America's supposed to be. I think we can do that. He was, but you know what? The older I get, the more I get it. He really was a patriot. He was angry because there's a lot of shit broken in the world. And he was just pissed off that it wouldn't work. He didn't have the tact. He definitely was not a skilled politician. Yeah, I'm an independent. I'm liberal leaning, obviously, but I hate saying this. I probably am most closely aligned with traditional anarchy, but I know that that is an impractical form of governance, so I try not to talk about my weird anarchist ideas all the time. But I don't know if you notice this, I have a mohawk right now, so...
Okay, don't get hit by that.
Intercepted communication from the facts indicates that Kargan has bypassed their initial security protocols.
Yeah, I like small... I both believe in federal programs like socialized healthcare, but the government should be as lean as possible. I guess I would say I'm a social liberal fiscal conservative. If such a thing can still exist. For the record, like, I'm pro Second Amendment. I think that we need to be very, 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 very careful who has guns. And I don't think people need AR-15s. Like, if you're a hunter, you need hunting weapons, yep, great, have it. If you want to defend your home, you want a shotgun, go for it. But, like... Can I tell you something? Most of the people who say they're libertarians don't even know what that word fucking means. I have a friend who's a real libertarian, not one of those randist fuckwads. And, he's basically a conservative anarchist. Right? I am cut, I hear ya. I definitely spoke a, it's definitely a stereotype. I don't know. Hunting Georgist liberal? That's fine. Everybody's allowed to be anything here. If somebody told me they were a Republican, I wouldn't yell at them. My dad was a Republican until very recently. He and I get along great. Hunting rifles. Canadians are awesome. They're our well-behaved hat. They're nicer America. I like Canada so much. Canadians are great. I've known many a great Canadian. They are a wonderful people. I don't got nothing. Look, unless you have a major problem against a group of people solely based that they're a particular group of people, then I don't like you. But short of that, everybody's cool. Like, there's this thought exercise, I don't know, it's called the paradox of intolerance. It's the idea that the only thing that you can be intolerant of is intolerance, because if you are tolerant of intolerance, intolerance will eventually win and take over, and then your society will be intolerant. Thus the paradox. And I believe that we live that paradox. I believe that that is true. Yeah, I had family from Minnesota. They recently moved from Minnesota to Colorado. I have friends in Minnesota too. Exactly, I am Cud. Yeah, Canada's awesome. Like, they at least try with the indigenous people there.
Location secured, Commander Savant.
Yeah, I am Cud. Interesting that you frame it like that. There was a really good sci-fi story called Houston, Houston, Do You Read by Alice Sheldon. And it is about a future where humanity stagnates because there's no more conflict. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, but I can't imagine that Canada's systemic racism is worse than America's, frankly. Stagnation is hell. Conflict is key. Conflict brings change. Conflict doesn't mean war, for the record. It doesn't even have to involve death. Conflict doesn't have to be anything other than two people with different opinions trying to find a solution. Most people don't understand that. Shooting laser beams, talking philosophy. Welcome to my stream, folks. Alright, now we're gonna go do sandbox stuff. 'Cause why the hell not? And I'm allowed to do the old Jewish guy voice. It's not racist when I do it. Right, there's mainly vibes. There's the whole Quebec versus the rest of Canada. We live in a complicated world, ladies and gentle folks and men. See, I had to fit everybody in there. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, people. This is why Gen Z is awesome. All this gendered language is already deprogrammed from their brain. I'm working on it. Enlightening conversation about Canada. Alright, so what am I going to do next? Did I... There's Mars. I need to do adventures. We'll go to Mars, and we'll do an adventure. Well, as long as everybody's respectful here, we can debate politics. My general rule as far as what we talk about on this stream is anything goes until I say we switch subjects. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about debating, mainly vibes. I have unfortunately lost a couple of friends and family over this. Yeah, so far everyone here has been very, very cool in the audience, and I haven't really had to change anything or incur any penalties. Nobody's misbehaved. But yeah, most of you folks are coming from Greg's server, so like, I can't imagine Greg putting up with jerks of any capacity.
I've been digging through Rasputin's data repository. We found a blank spot in his artificial cortex.
Bigfoots and aliens is more fun to talk about anyways.
Structure to work like ours, it's more like it was suppressed. Now, some may think mere mortals shouldn't be poking around at suppressed war mind memories. But there's nothing
definitely
mere
not
or
gonna
mortal
carve
about
it.
you. That's a compliment, by the way, in case it fell here. We're going to solve this puzzle together.
We are? I wasn't paying attention to what you were doing. I wasn't
See you
paying...
later.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye. I hear ya. My family's pretty cool. I was raised way more hardcore religious than most of my family lived. That was the thing my mom wanted for reasons. Yeah, I feel your pain religion-wise. You wouldn't know to look at it, but once upon a time, I was a yeshiva bacher, which means I went to the Jewish equivalent of Catholic school. And instead of nuns, I had rabbis teaching me stuff.
There's a chart here. It's a plan of attack.
Oh yeah, oh, that's so great. I am cut. You know, people ask me, you know, how are you an atheist? I was raised religious. That's your answer. I have intimate knowledge. I can read and write in Aramaic. That's true. My God, mainly vibes. That's not my dad at all. My dad is a... Let's see. My dad's playing War Thunder right now. Then he's probably gonna go walk the dog. He's a retired dentist. He wants to watch the Twitch stream, but and my God, I have set it up for him. I set it up on his Roku. I set it up on his computer. Everywhere. And he can't. He can't figure out how to watch me on Twitch. I love my father. He's 65, and he is the most 65 you could possibly be.
The Red Legion has stolen energy from the facility.
Don't let them go off-world for those batteries. Destroy them at once.
I mean, I learned a lot about a lot of other religions just because I had to learn how to interact with the rest of the world. And I mean, most of media and culture, even though there's a lot of Jews in media, they cater to non-Jewish audience. There's a reason that when Steven Spielberg made his Holocaust movie, the main character wasn't a Jew. Like, he made a movie about a German feeling bad about the Holocaust so he could get non-Jews to understand the Holocaust.
That puts them in that. But nothing stopped the Red Legion from coming back.
If we can get Cabal communication codes, I can send a signal to the Red Legion.
Ambush them with information. I'm like
Oh no. Eyes of sin. Tisk tisk. How dare somebody not conform? It's alright. Where I am now, there's actually a special term for me in Judaism. I am what's called an apikoros, which is a really polite term that is a combination of religious heretic and race traitor. Basically, Jews are the chosen people of God. Haha. And we have a lot of responsibility. And if you're ignorant of it, you're fine. You're forgiven. God forgives you. You didn't know any better. But if you're educated, if you know all the rules, and then you go, no, I don't believe in it. I'm not going to keep kosher. I'm not going to pray. I don't believe in God. You are such a traitor that you are like branded heretic. And that is exactly what I am. Thankfully, I've gotten to the point with my family that I can joke about it with my mom. But it was a sore subject for a long time. It's amazing how weird cultish brainwashing will make teenagers want to rebel at that point in their life. I had a lot of anger for a long time. I'm not angry anymore. I'm mostly like, I don't want anybody getting hurt. If your religion brings you peace of mind and allows you to function in society and not hurt people, great. My dad didn't give a shit. My mom cared. Like I said, my dad's side of the family were Holocaust survivors, so they were not terribly religious. My grandparents, as they got old, towards the end of their lives, they kind of found faith again. But my dad is, my dad was a doctor. He worked Saturdays. He worked on the Sabbath. My mom, however, both her grandparents were rabbis, so she had a very different feeling towards the faith, and she's a much more spiritual person. So she made me. I was raised modern Orthodox, which is as close as you can be to a black hat level without being black hat. I kept all the rules, but I had a Sega Genesis, and I went to the movies, and I loved Batman and the Ninja Turtles, and like the idea of modern Orthodox is that you don't separate yourself from society. It's that you keep all the rules, but you try to assimilate to a certain degree. Everybody should go to therapy, for the record. I am a very pro mental health person. I'm in therapy. Therapy is excellent.
Never became it's a leftover explosive that we put to good use.
Right?
Sins and covers.
Like I said multiple times, I just want Star Trek. I just want Star Trek, folks. I want to get to the part where we're all flying around space with people who have really weird foreheads.
Let's get to high ground before our guests arrive.
Most people sort of believe in a creator of some kind. Like, even as an atheist, it's just me rejecting any of the written religions that have been around. It's not... It would be hubris of me to say that I understand how reality in the universe works. There could be a higher power. I have no freaking idea. I'm not agnostic in the sense that I am praying to some higher power, but it's possible. I have no idea. My belief system is primarily Batman related. And the closer you are to Batman, the cooler you are. That's it. That's my faith. How much are you like Batman? I feel like it's a pretty simple faith. Who is my favorite Batman? Now, are you talking about portrayal? Oh, I think Pattinson's going to do a great job. And I say that completely unironically. I've seen him in non-Twilight stuff. He is legitimately a good actor. I think he's going to do a bang-up job. That trailer hit all the right buttons. I wasn't even that angry at Ben Affleck. I just thought that he got handed the shittiest Batman scripts on the planet. I guess if we're talking... Oh, Eyes of Sin, you're cool. You're already pretty close on the scale to Batman. Yeah, well, you live in crazy gun territory, manly vibes. So you got your respect. You're doing work that requires it.
I think we've upset whoever's in charge.
Yeah, him with the freaking like weird S&M gimp mask on. Like, what the hell was that? MacGyver's cool. Respect for MacGyver. That man knew how to save the world in a mullet like few do. It's like him and Brock Sampson. I would say my Batman, to answer the question, if we're going strictly on live-action portrayals. Because if we include animated ones, it's not even fair. It's Kevin Conroy. But, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's probably my favorite, just because he was such an oddball choice. He's not big and ripped. He was definitely a very psychological Batman. He was like an obsessed guy.
We can't bring back those we lost, but we can make sure the remedy
I certainly can. Can you imagine Hank? How Hank would react if Batman showed up in the Venture Brothers? Hank would have a mental breakdown. Adam West is excellent. I love Batman, but I don't take the character so serious that, like, you can't have funny interpretations. I recently watched the Harley Quinn cartoon show and thought it was delightful. I had a great time with that. He was a really strange choice, and it was just... somehow he freaking pulled it off, man. Like, you go back and watch those movies, he's still not traditionally who you would pick for Batman. But it works. And that's why I tend to reserve judgment. But I had seen one Robert Pattinson movie in particular. It's actually on Amazon Prime now. Cosmopolis. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for Flashpoint Batman as well.
And that is never a good sign.
We'll do that. Kinda. I think Pattinson's gonna do a good job. I think he's gonna do a great job. Oh, you bet your ass I've read Red Sun.
Static. It's messing with my
That is one of the best Eververse comics. Hive text samples collected. Does that just mean shoot Hive? I'll do that. The last Batman movie wasn't hot. The Nolan one. I'm all about the first. I'm all about the first two. The problem is that, and this was something the Michael Keaton version was able to do, was the detective part. Yeah, exactly, Eyes of Sin. That is precisely how I feel about Mr. Pattinson. Again, if people need verification of his acting chops, go see either The Lighthouse or Cosmopolis. He is a very good actor. And he has no reason, he doesn't need the money. He's filthy stinking rich from Twilight. He took Batman because he wanted to play the role. So he gives a shit. It's not a paycheck thing for him. He doesn't need it. No, he doesn't. And he takes on some small roles. And he plays them seriously. There's another Cronenberg film he was in, Map to the Stars. And he gives a really weird, nuanced performance. And he's a side character. He's not even, like, a big deal. And I like actors that do that. The other problem with the Nolan movies was Christian Bale just put on a silly Batman voice. He had a very silly Batman voice. He was a good Batman, just a very silly Batman voice. Yeah, I went, so I went to film school. I get to go to screenings and shit. I went to a industry screening that Kristen Stewart was in attendance for, and it was for The Runaways, where she played Joan Jett, and she was really good in it. Like, she wasn't half bad. And she was really cool and excited and engaged, and not at all like the flat actor that everybody claims she is. And then the second someone asked her a question about Twilight, she died inside. And like that glassy exterior that you thought was acting, but was actually, my God, what am I doing with my life? So I respect Kirsten Stewart. She's cool. I would say, Manly Vibes, you are a rare, sane gun owner. Unfortunately, there are a lot of really, really weird gun owners that have boners for shooting things.
Pieces of a machine.
I didn't see American Ultra. Should I see that? Is that worth watching?
It's always unpleasant. There's more static coming from the tunnel. You can't have experimental
I haven't.
check out the
That's on Hulu. I can go check that out. Okay. Alright, it looked like a fun movie. It looks like a stoner flick, which I'm always down for. I don't know if anybody's caught on to this or not, but I am a fan of the wacky tobacco. I don't know what would give it away. Yeah, I have a lot of friends who I grew up in with in Jersey who now live in Florida, and now that they're in Florida, they kind of got, like, really serious about guns. Cool. I remember a little bit about what it's about. I remember Topher Grace is the bad guy, and that makes me happy. Yeah, Eyes of Sin. That's a logical way to... That, again, is responsible gun ownership. If you are hunting and you are... and not for just for sport, if you're, like, hunting the animal for food, and you're going to use it, and you're going to be humane about it, then yeah, use a gun. That's what they're for. No, mainly. Yeah, what gave it away? Topher Grace was a terrible choice for Venom. Abaddon's arugula. Satan's spinach. Eyes of Sin, you bring a smile to my face.
It's a signal amplifier. They're calling something.
That's delightful. Those are all delightful alternate terms for the marijuana. Electric lettuce. Now we're getting, like, obtuse and weird, and I'm still into it. Electric lettuce. Y'all put some funny words together. I like it. That's my girlfriend's dream. When we are no longer in New York City and we have a house, is a garden, and there will be many things planted, including wacky tobacco. We're definitely we've talked about it for ages, about growing our own. But we're still in New York for the time being, because it's honestly a pretty important time in history to be in New York, and I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, like, there's a way to do it in New York. Like, it's not legal, but you can build, like, closet hot boxes or whatever, and you can grow a plant or two in a closet in New York, and it's safe. But I have a friend who has a plant. I would come to Maine, but it's where everything Stephen King writes happens. And I neither want to get possessed by a spooky hotel, eaten by a clown, vampires, or have my animals come back to life. I'm very scared.
Got a
Maine sounds like a really scary territory,
Emerge from the deep. Take our power.
right? Tolkien was into the good shit, man. The halflings leave. Tolkien knew what was up. Yeah. See, mainly, that's what I'm talking about. There is something, like, you have, that is haunted. Whatever that abandoned town is, there's gonna be a carny, or, like, just a cobbler, and he steals all your feet. He's the foot thief. He drove out, he stole everybody's feet. Nobody could leave town.
Hide, so
Like,
the sword wouldn't be straight.
Maine's scary, man.
At its core, their magic is still just science. I'll get to the bottom of it.
Did I just make a nightmare for someone? I hope I didn't. Made a nightmare for myself talking about that. The cobbler. Yeah. Although, if you're worried about vampires, honestly, the church would be the best place to go. So what do I have left here? Supers and public events. Eyes of Sin, that happened to me once. So I had an ex who lived in New Hampshire, and she convinced me to spend Christmas with her family in New Hampshire. And there's nothing in New Hampshire, and it snows a lot in New Hampshire. And I'm a Jersey / New York City boy. I was going through my own shining moment. Like, I was definitely sitting in front of my laptop going, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Like, there was nothing to do. Alright. I need to do public events. Let's do Contact. That counts as a public event. That's, I think... We'll see. Contact's the seasonal thing, and I have to do it for another thing. I'm making stuff line up. The cute girls called you lesbian vampire because they were hoping it was just lesbian vampire. Bisexual means more competition. That's what that was. What the F am I doing? I was too busy trying to be clever. I definitely associate very much with the vampire. My preferred monster. And as I've mentioned, and has been mentioned numerous times, Greg and I became friends over vampires, specifically Vampire the Masquerade, which I played a lot of. See, mainly you're just describing, like, do I have a preference to vampire clans? Yeah. There were some I liked more than others. The one I played the longest was an Asimite. In the new edition, they're called the Banu Hakim. But they were the Middle Eastern, like, assassin vampires. They were freaking awesome. I liked the Bruja a lot, and I liked the Malkavians, because who doesn't like playing scary people? I was not a big fan of the Nosferatus, mostly because I'm vain, and I like playing pretty characters. In D&D, most of the time I play an elf of some kind. Even Aelith was a half-elf with high charisma. So Nosferatu have to be ugly. So I never played a Nosferatu. Not a huge Gangrel person. I like the Zamitzi and the Lasombra. They're cool. I thought the Salubri were weird. Wasn't really a Salubri guy. I had a friend who loved the Nos. And played the Nos extensively. He just had a Nos named Beast who was... He was Beast. It is still very relevant. They have a new edition out, and they're getting a new video game. They're actually doing a sequel to Vampire Bloodlines, which I never thought would ever happen. Very interesting. And it's set in Seattle, which is always an interesting place to set a video game in. I've only played one other video game set in Seattle, Infamous Second Son, which was a good game. Yeah, I played all the Vampire the Masquerade video games. I played Redemption, I played Bloodlines, I played the Hunter the Reckoning, like, co-op game on PlayStation 2. Shadowrun! Shadowrun's fun. Not a White Wolf game, but a good game nonetheless. Shadowrun is set in Seattle. You are correct. Or likes using Seattle a lot. The video games are diamonds in the rough. They are... I mean, unless you played Redemption when it first came out, I don't know if I could even safely recommend playing it as a good game. It was really cool at the time. It was an action RPG. I really enjoyed it. It is very dated. The one that's coming out looks pretty sweet. I've been doing some coverage for that new Vampire game, and it does indeed look pretty fucking sweet. I'm excited for that. I'm super excited for Baldur's Gate 3. That's probably my favorite RPG franchise of my life. And you bet your keister I will be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 when it comes out. Your keister. Darn tootin'. That's what I sound like right now. The Baldur's Gate games have aged surprisingly well. I mean, they're still a little simplistic by modern RPG standards, but they have remastered editions up on Steam, and they did a very good job with them, in all seriousness. It's very... Baldur's Gate's still pretty cool. And the new game looks fantastic. It's, for my money, it's the closest you will... Baldur's Gate is the closest you will ever get to playing actual D&D in a video game. Like, it's they're the dungeon master, and you don't have to roll dice, but this is Dungeons and Dragons, like, down to the rules. And it looks like that's gonna be roughly the same case with the new game, with Baldur's Gate 3, which has me really excited. Oh, we had a good time. I'm Cud. I made some friends from on our Cyberpunk stream. I became friends with a particular guy named Trey, who just so happened to have a psychotic break because he had too many cybernetics, and he's now gone insane and is murdering people in a nightclub. I like flower. I always like smoking the real herb. I like a good edible every once in a while, but for the most part, just give me some of that sticky icky, man. I had yet to try resin personally. I mean, beyond smoking the resin that's in my bong, but look, if it gets you high and you feel good at the end of it, it did the right thing. Yeah, my dad wants to get back into it. Like, now that I'm an adult, my parents confess to all their drug taking days. They definitely were the hypocrites, like, don't you ever do drugs. And then as soon as I'm in college, they're like, oh yeah, let me tell you about the time I did shrooms. And then I was like, okay, cool, let me tell you about the time I did shrooms, and the time I did acid, and the time I did all, other hallucinogens. Rosin. Rosin is the most natural concentrate. See, you know more than me. I was not familiar with that term. I am but a consumer, not a producer. Look, every once I will say this, hallucinogens are not for everyone, but for the people that need a break from consensual reality and would like an altered perception of things and learn that, and just see the world differently for a little while, I highly recommend it. Best thing I ever did after a massive breakup was just go on a massive trip at, like, a burn. It wasn't Burning Man, I was at a smaller burn. But, I went to, like, a 3-day burn in Delaware, took 2 tabs of acid, tripped the fuck out, and I put about a millennia between me and that relationship. I was a different human being on the other side. If you're in the right state of mind, it heals you. I definitely would pose caution. If you are nervous before you take it, you are gonna have a bad effing trip. Like, don't do it. And try to have a chaperone if you can. Like, don't be alone. Alright, I gotta do one more of these things. soon as it respawns this event. We'll just wait it out. Yes. I am Cud, those are all correct. I hear you, Eyes of Sin. I know I'm really chill, but I'm on a lot of meds. And I have actually, I was really nervous about tripping after I had started my medications for, you know, depression, anxiety, all that good stuff. And it wasn't that bad, but synesthesia is not something I deal with, so I wouldn't begin to presume about that. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you are in a good headspace. Everything I am Cud, your uncle told you, your uncle gave you good advice. That's all very, very good advice. I went off alone, but I definitely circled back and found, like, my chaperone eventually. Like, they checked in on me for me, my friend and I, who were both on a similar wavelength during our trip, every time we ran into our chaperone who would just come be like, "Hey, how's it going, bud?" I'd be like, "You're the one our ancestors told us about. We've been journeying for so long." Like, the way we were trying to explain time dilation was that we were not ourselves, but our descendants, and that we had been on a journey. I prefer indicas. And, I don't know. I don't know about flavor profile. I gotta say, when you're buying in New York, you're very limited with what your selection is. You're kind of at the discretion of what your dealer has. Perps are good. But as general, I like being into couch, so I like indica. That is, I primarily get indica blends. Wow, Eyes of Sin. I'm not gonna lie, the trippy hallucinogen person in me wishes I could see the synesthesia. I understand that it's a burden for you, and I don't mean to make light of it. But boy, that sounds fascinating. Well, it's good that you know yourself and your limits. That's really important. Like, I have some friends who ask me how do I party hard? And I'm like, well, look, I know my tolerance limits. I'm not a junkie or an addict. If I'm going to take hallucinogens, it's for a specific time or purpose. It's a very planned event. And, you know, I can handle my shit. Sativas just make me fall asleep too quick. And I like the head high. Or rather, I don't know. Nah, I'm sorry, it's body high with, forget, whatever. I like indica. I know I like indica. Because I've smoked enough weed. I've had very little weed paranoia in my life. If anything, it's done wonders for me medically in a completely unsanctioned, undiagnosed purpose. I used to, I haven't since I smoked weed, but I used to have a really bad stomach. And doctors had no clue what it was. I've been to gastroenterologists, and they just threw medication at me, and they're like, "You got IBS." And I'm like, "It's not, but okay." I start smoking weed, gone. Not an issue. My life better. Oh, see, I'm not on any opiates. I'm on crazy pills, but I'm not on any opiates. Weed helps so much with nausea, it's ridiculous. The fact that people don't get that, oh my god. That was a part of my stomach problem. In addition to intense pain, but like nausea, holy cow, nothing has done it for me like weed. It really was a miracle thing for me, and I do it. I won't lie, I do it recreationally, but it has medical benefits for me. Concrete medical benefits. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Mainly Vibes. I wish good health to all my viewers. Thankfully, I'm in pretty good shape. So, I'm thin, but my friend Pat says I have like the metabolism of the guy that drank from the wrong grail in Indiana Jones. So before COVID happened, and when as part of my like mental health, make myself feel better thing, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an incredibly spiritual person, but I decided mind-body balance mattered, so I decided to start taking better care of myself, eating and exercising and all that stuff. While I was still young enough for it to make a difference. I really didn't do much in my 20s, and right, like I'm cut, I hear ya. I'm 33 and I'm in the best shape of my life. Like, I am stronger, healthier, more active than I ever was in my 20s. It's insane. Ooh, deep purple. Deep purple, I like purple. Purple's a great color. I like that. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I make jokes about being old being terrible, but so far my 30s have been. I'm early in it. My 30s have been my best decade yet. The world's gone to shit. Trump's been president the whole time, but me as a person, I don't know. I'm cool with me at 30. I can only imagine, because the difference seems to be the older you get, the less of a fuck you seem to care about what other people think. And it's kind of beautiful. I wish that peace of mind upon everybody. I hope everybody gets to know the peace of mind of not just doing what you want and not giving an ever-loving fuck about the consequences, as long as, you aren't killing or hurting people. haven't physically changed since you were 19. God bless you. Yeah, good for you, man. I like watching our generations get older because we're like the first real generation of gamers that are getting old, and it's been interesting to see how games narratives have changed as the people who are making games are the ones that grew up with it. It's been going nice. All right, I think I finished my suit. I sure did. I don't mind that games are uber political. Eyes of Sin, grow a beard. Just grow a beard. Because I'll tell you, I'm like crazy baby faced. So if I shave off this beard, even though I have like I'm starting to get gray in my mohawk, I have no wrinkles. I'm very thin. I at least look like a grown up with the beard. If I take the beard off, I'll look like a youngster. I'm not complaining. I have a little bit of gray, but you would be surprised how many like young people guess that I'm still in my 20s. And I've gotten a lot of like, I don't know, 23, 24. I'm like, wow, thank you. Yeah, Eyes of Sin, I bet all that estrogen got in the way of the beard. Sorry about that. Yeah, double X chromosomes, that'll do that for you. That's what I'm looking forward to, I am Cud. I'm like, it occurred to me when I was shaving in the mohawk, I'm like, fuck, when I go gray, I never have to bleach my head again. Thank you, Redbeard. Yeah, I'm 33, so I'll take late 20s. That all works for me. All right, so now I gotta go put on. I gotta go put on my solstice armor. That we all just watched me. That I was doing this game. So this is the lowest rank solstice armor. I'm gonna go put her helmet on so we can watch the whole deal. So now she's got all her gear on. And now she's gonna meditate. And all her gear's gonna become super cool looking. That's a fun age range to play with, I am Cud. Like being able to jump 20 years in your looks based off of hair growth is pretty fun. Yeah, my mom looked young, really young for a long time because she's also mom was a very short lady. She's in her 60s now, so she doesn't quite look like a teenager, but she looked good for her age. Mom took good care of herself. Alright. I think mission accomplished. How am I doing? Did I finish any bounties? A couple. Ooh, and I even got a cosmetic engram. Let's take a look at those cosmetics. Let's see what I unlocked. A ghost shell I won't use, and some shaders I won't use. Goodbye, ghost shell. I'm sure he is tired of being compared to Andy Milonakis. No offense to that guy, but
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm sure he's tired of it.
You.
Alright, good progress on my hunter. Let's celebrate by doing some cosmetics. Let's find some good colors for her armor and make her look cool. She earned it. Looks like I unlocked a new shader. What did I unlock here? Where is it? It's back a page. These ones. Pomegranate gloss. What do you look like? Nope. Not interested. I'm just doing cosmetic stuff now. You joke about hate fueling, but I have a similar grandmother. She doesn't look like she's in her 60s, but I am sure it is nothing but hatred that is keeping her alive. Hatred and cutting words. I got the same shader on my warlock right now, but I like doing different colors. You know what I'm saying? I want some variance here. Don't want all your characters to look exactly the same. How would Precursor Vex Chrome look? Ooh, I like that. We're gonna go with the Precursor Vex Chrome. So the cool thing, you used to not be able to do that. You used to have to just wait for the shaders to drop, but they added, thankfully, that collection system. So once you unlock a particular shader, you can then purchase it at will, as long as you have the resources for it. And if you play Destiny as much as I do, you always have the resources for it. Nice. Nice. Yeah! Let's change her bike and her ship. Thanks for sticking around, Cud. I'm about to wrap up here soon anyways, but I appreciate the conversation, and I appreciate you watching. And hopefully I'll see you around, if not here, on Greg's stream. And I think on this note, having achieved success and gotten my power ranking up to a respectable rate, let's go log out and look at my characters and marvel, and then I'll call it a stream. Yeah, thanks, Artistic. Appreciate it. I appreciate everybody hopping by. Like I said, y'all are really cool. You're all showing up and watching, and I'm getting so close to making Twitch affiliate. It's a hair's breadth away. And then I can start, I'll do fun stuff. Look at them. They look great. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good Saturday. I will talk to you all soon out there in Interland. I'm gonna sign off now.